Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Friday announced a significant reduction in petroleum prices, cutting high-speed diesel by Rs 135 per litre and petrol by Rs 12 per litre. In a televised address, he said diesel would now cost Rs 385 per litre and petrol Rs 366 per litre from midnight, describing the moment as historic amid shifting diesel conditions. He linked the relief to easing global oil pressure and Pakistan's efforts to cushion inflation during earlier shocks triggered by the Middle East crisis. The Prime Minister also confirmed that targeted subsidy programs introduced during the fuel shock would continue.
डीजल की कीमत में फिल फॉर 135 रुपए फी लीटर की कमी का ऐलान करता हूं। डीजल की कीमत जो इस वक्त 520 रुपए फी लीटर है, वो आज रात 12 बजे कम होकर 385 रुपए फी लीटर आपको डीजल मुहैया होगा, जिससे न सिर्फ ज़राई शोबे में आसानी पैदा होगी, वहां पर आम आदमी के लिए पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट के अखराजात में भी खातर खा कमी आएगी। इसी तरीके से पेट्रोल की कीमत, जिसमें मैंने पिछले हफ्ते 80 रुपए फी लीटर कमी का ऐलान किया था, उसमें आज मजीद 12 रुपए कमी का ऐलान कर रहा हूं। और इस तरह पेट्रोल की कीमत आज रात 12 बजे 378 रुपए से कम होके 366 रुपए फी लीटर हो जाएगी।
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said the regional environment was finally moving from confrontation to dialogue, noting that parties that had been facing each other in war had now agreed to resolve their issues through talks. He thanked both Iranian and US leadership for accepting Pakistan's proposal for a 2-week ceasefire and for agreeing to engage in talks hosted in Islamabad. Calling it a moment of pride, he said Pakistan's role in facilitating dialogue was not just for Pakistan but for the entire Muslim world. He particularly praised Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar and Field Marshal Asim Munir, crediting them with playing a historic role in de-escalation. The Prime Minister emphasized that while the ceasefire was temporary, the real challenge would be securing a durable peace. He called the coming phase a make-or-break moment, stressing that diplomatic success must translate into long-term stability. He also rejected advice to partially withhold fuel price relief, insisting that the benefits of lower global prices be fully passed on to citizens, especially farmers, during the wheat harvesting season. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has felicitated Pakistan on achieving the US-Iran ceasefire, as well as ensuring the resumption of dialogue, according to a statement issued by the Prime Minister's office. Speaking to his British counterpart over the phone, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif reaffirmed Pakistan's sincere commitment to regional peace and stability and welcomed a joint statement from world leaders endorsing the peace plan. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer deeply appreciated Pakistan's effective diplomatic efforts in facilitating the US-Iran ceasefire and the resumption of dialogue. The statement reads, he felicitated Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif on hosting the peace negotiations in Islamabad and offered his best wishes for the success of this endeavor. According to the PMO, both leaders agreed upon the need to uphold ceasefire and create conditions for lasting peace, while also agreeing to work together in areas of mutual interest. Both leaders also emphasized continued diplomatic coordination between their foreign ministries, support for humanitarian stability in affected regions, and the importance of sustained engagement with all parties to ensure that the ceasefire remains durable and credible framework. On the diplomatic front, US Vice President J.D. Vance departed for Islamabad to lead the American delegation in the expected negotiations with Iranian representatives. The talks are scheduled under the framework of a Pakistan-brokered 2-week ceasefire following the recent US-Israeli military escalation against Iran. J.D. Vance said US would approach the dialogue with an open hand if Iran negotiates in good faith, but warned against any attempt to play the US delegation. Pakistan has positioned itself as the central facilitator, with Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar confirming visa-free entry for delegates and journalists arriving for the Islamabad talks 2026, while immigration authorities will issue visas on arrival. Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi reviewed tight security arrangements, declaring that hosting the talks was an honor for Pakistan. Over 10,000 personnel have been deployed across Islamabad and Rawalpindi, with red zone sealed and strict movement controls enforced. Traffic diversions and temporary holiday in twin cities were also announced to ensure security. PPP Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari said the international community does not have Plan B if the US-Iran talks fail, stressing that only negotiated settlement can prevent wider conflict. He said Pakistan was acting as a host and facilitator while acknowledging a deep trust deficit between Washington and Tehran. Adding to the momentum, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif also credited Pakistan's leadership for convincing both sides to agree to dialogue, describing the ceasefire and talks as a breakthrough achieved through sustained diplomatic engagement. As delegations arrive in Islamabad, Pakistan finds itself at the center of one of the most consequential diplomatic processes in recent years, balancing fragile peace efforts with domestic economic relief and heightened regional volatility.